Hey guys, this is Mary Jane, and this would be our last video for the English words that are often confused video series. So let's get down to business. Let's have our first set of words. We have here endure and tolerate. So to endure is actually indicating suffering or ongoing misfortune. Usually this is done in silence. Example. During war times, the populace endure extreme hardships, especially food shortages. However, if you're going to use tolerate is also a verb. However, you have to be able to put up or allow something to continue. This is with some approval, and usually this is in a negative way. Example, I tolerate a lot of questionable behavior from my students, forgetting to do their homework, arriving late for class, even falling asleep in class. However, I will not tolerate laziness. Next, there is a difference between enormity and enormous. Enormity is a noun. This means something is extremely evil or this is cruelty on a huge scale. So, correctly used in reference to war crimes or other crimes against humanity, this is mostly incorrectly used to describe something very big, like a crowd of thousands at a sports match or music concert. So, we have here some examples. I can't help wondering if the average Chinese citizen is aware of the enormity of the suffering and destruction that Chairman Mao forced upon his own people and country. Despite the rantings of neo Nazis, the world is well aware of the enormity of the suffering caused by Adolf Hitler in World War II. Many of the recent Australian bushfires were started by arsonists. The enormity of their crime cannot be understood or underestimated. Now, if we're going to say enormous, enormous is an adjective. This means that it is very big in size or in number. An example, Coles Supermarkets Australia recently advertised 5,000 vacancies for casual staff to help cope with demand during the Wuhan coronavirus situation. They received an enormous number of applications, 35,000. So that's a very big number. Next, the pyramids in Egypt are enormous. New parents are sometimes surprised to discover that they have an enormous capacity for love and patience. Unfortunately, because enormity is used increasingly, again, especially in the media, when extremely big is the meaning intended, but it is now defined in several modern and especially online dictionaries as meaning extremely big. So I suspect that this has come about because enormous has no acceptable noun. So enormousness is arguably grammatical correct, but sounds wrong. So enormity seems an easy fix. As with the much misused adjective disinterested, as we discussed in our other video. So my concern is that if enormity ends up meaning enormous simply because people don't know the difference, we are going to lose, again, a very concise, meaningful English word forever. So every time we lose an irreplaceable word, our language actually becomes a little poorer. So we have to be careful using enormity and enormous. All right, now we are down to our last set of words. We have here especially and specially. Especially is an adverb, so usually to an unusual degree, or let's say particularly. Example, bushfires are a natural phenomenon in Australia. However, the recent ones were especially savage because of the accumulation of dry wood and undergrowth, which provided an enormous amount of fuel for the fires. Fire prevention measures had been ignored for several years, and a bushfire season from hell was imminent. You might deduce that the politicians and bureaucrats who allowed this to happen were especially stupid, And you would be right. Now, specially is an adverb too, but this one is for a special purpose. Examples. Do you like your new scarf? I knitted it specially for you. We know you want to sleep indoors, but the other dogs sleep outside and we can't change the rules specially for you. So this is when you're going to talk to your dogs. Last one. Yes, of course. You are a very special little dog, and this very special scarf, which I made specially for you, will keep you warm on the coldest nights.